There's a big trend in the market right now for investors to use mutual funds to act as hedge funds. Here to talk about that trend is Jim Dilworth. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
All right, why this big clamor to use mutual funds to get into hedge funds?
Mutual fund structure is a superior structure to a limited partnership structure, for example, based upon the illiquidity of a limited partnership, the paperwork, the accredited investor issues, and so on. So mutual fund structure being highly regulated, very liquid, and you produce an NAV that's public record each day. It's just a better vehicle for investors, I think, superior vehicle.
So the little guys can invest like the big guys, and it's cheaper too, right?
Tends to be cheaper, and the little guys can get access through their advisor typically to these types of strategies that were only in the hands of the institutions for a while.
But do those strategies work? Recently we had the cover of Bloomberg Businessweek have a very famous picture about overblown hedge fund performance. What's your view?
On the picture or the performance?
Oh, the picture was kind of racy.
If you look at performance over a longer period of time, you can see that hedge funds have outperformed the broader indices over a 15-year period, for example. So they tend to focus on the last 3 years, which clearly they have underperformed.
And what about your fund, the Simple Alternatives or the S1 fund? How's that one doing?
We're annualizing about 5%, which compared to the S&P might be somewhat disappointing, but we don't benchmark ourselves typically against the S&P, as you know. So we're in the pack with the other hedge fund strategies and the HFRI index, which is what we compare ourselves to.
And which strategies are working best for you right now?
We're focused on long-short equity, fundamental bottoms-up stock pickers, and so most of the strategies doing very well are the lower net managers who tend to generate alpha on their long book and their short book, as opposed to directional strategies that are trying to chase performance.
Clearly there's a lot of intrigue and discussion right now about S.A.C. Capital and what Steve Cohen was doing up there in Greenwich, Connecticut. Do you think this is going to affect this trend we've been seeing for mutual fund investors to get into hedge funds? Do you think that perhaps they're going to say, well, they're insider trading, I don't want to be involved with that?
Hedge fund, the idea of a hedge fund in general is somewhat misleading in a sense. It's a structure and a strategy rather than a particular investment strategy per se. And so I don't have enough information to comment on S.A.C. Capital specifically, but I would say that long-short equity, as an example, is a pretty mainstream strategy, regardless of the hedge fund nomenclature.
So S.A.C. Capital is not really a reflection of the industry. It's a very widespread industry.
Correct. That would be a fair statement.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jim.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching The Street.